Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's English lesson. Before we look at this video, I would really like you to click up the worksheet that I sent to you. Either click it up onto your monitor so you can have it next to this video so you can watch it and see the text at the same time, or print it out and have it on your desk. This week's English lesson is going to be about the US Congress changing the rules around classifying pasta. They want it to be classified as a vegetable in the US school systems. So I will start with reading the text on your worksheet, and then after that we will go through all the true and false questions, the synonym matches, and the discussion questions. Great. Pasta has been reclassified as a vegetable in U.S. schools. An overhaul or remodeling of national dietary regulations has resulted in pasta now counting towards the vegetable requirements in school lunches across the USA. The new school guidelines were released by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in January of this year. The guidelines stipulate that pasta made of vegetable flour may credit as a vegetable even if the pasta is not served with another recognizable vegetable. Pasta can only be regarded as a vegetable serving if it is made with potato, soy, or other starchy vegetable-based flour. Other changes outlined included the halving of fruit given to children for breakfast and the provision of a greater selection of burgers, fries, pizza, and other high-calorie food that is full of saturated fat and salt. The Agriculture Secretary defended the guidelines. He said the new rules would reduce food waste. Schools and school districts continue to tell us there is still too much food waste and that more common sense flexibility is needed to provide students nutritious and appetizing meals. We listened and now we're getting to work, said Secretary Perdue. In November 2011, pizza was classified as a vegetable, at least according to a decision made by the U.S. Congress. American lawmakers ruled that pizza can be counted as a vegetable due to the amount of tomato paste in pizza sauce. These motions of the Congress are because of political reasons. The salt industry, potato growers, and some conservative politicians who said that the federal government shouldn't be involved in telling children what to eat also lobbied against the change. The guidelines reverse the Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010, which was championed by Michelle Obama. A health expert said, "This makes absolutely no sense. Politics and industry pressure should not interfere with what is best for children's health." 2 weeks ago, federal Judge George J. Hazel of the U.S. District Court of Maryland has deemed these new rules illegal. His argument is that the Department of Agriculture, which oversees school nutrition, had completely changed its position. Key parts of those proposed standards that have been significantly revised, in between unveiling them to the public in 2017 and finalizing them in 2019. The administration completely changed its position on key parts of school lunch reform without notifying the public, and that broke the law. A federal judge has overturned rules that allow school meals to be sweeter, saltier, and less nutritious, finding that the Trump administration's Agriculture Department wasn't clear with the public about what it was doing. So let's go through the true and false. A. Pasta was reclassified to conform to international dietary regulations. This is kind of like a trick question. Conform to international dietary regulations. False. It was reclassified to conform to national dietary regulations. So national dietary regulations would be what the nation has for regulations. International would be all the countries in the world. That would be like international. So the answer to A would be false. B. The regulations say pasta must be served with recognized vegetables. when they say, when recognized vegetables, they mean you can see on your plate that you actually do have a vegetable on your plate. And that is false, because they say that even if the pasta is not served with another recognizable vegetable, it can credit as a vegetable. C. Only pasta from vegetable-based flour constitutes a vegetable serving. Now that's true. So the pasta that is to be served in schools is to be made out of like flour from potatoes or soy or other starchy vegetables. And that's good for the potato industry. D. The new rules half the amount of fruit given to children for breakfast. That's true. They want the kids to have half as much fruit as a rule than it is now. The Agriculture Secretary said the new rules would reduce food waste. That would be true. And the reason why they say that is because when if you listen to the news on like YouTube about this, kids would rather eat white bread than whole grain dark bread, and they would rather have like white tortillas for their tacos because that's super popular in American lunches. They would rather have white tortilla than whole grain dark tortilla, and then they'll like throw away the healthier options and take the unhealthy options. F. The secretary said the new rules would provide more nourishing meals. And that's also kind of a trick question. Did he actually say that it would? I don't think he did. He defends the guidelines, and he says that schools tell us that we need to provide kids with more nutritious and appetizing meals and that we're going to work on it. But he doesn't say that the new rules will provide more nourishing meals. So I would say it would be false. But that's could go either way, actually. G. A health expert said the new rules were nonsensical. Which, when we say nonsensical, we mean make no sense. And that's true. He says this makes absolutely no sense. Politics and industry pressure should not interfere with what is best for children's health. H. A federal judge says that changing the rules is against the law. And that's true. The federal judge means that they present a frame of rules, 2017, and then before they finalize them, they've changed them. And he says that if you don't notify the public, then you're going against the law. Let's go to the synonym match. Number 1, overhaul. Now in overhaul, I gave you an extra word for overhaul in the text because it's one of those words you don't really use very often. But it is common in the written language in English. So an overhaul or remodeling of national dietary regulations is used in the sentence. So the word in the synonym match that best matches overhaul would be H, recondition, like remake. Number 2, requirements. The word in the synonym match that best matches would be E, needs. I require something, I need something. Number 3, released. The word that best matches released would be J, issued. 4, stipulate. The word that best matches the word stipulate would be specify. Stipulate is like to explain or to tell how things are. 5, ruled. The word that best matches the word ruled would be G, decided. 6, outlined. The word that best matches the word outlined in the synonym match would be C, summary. 7, defended. The word that best matches the word defended would be I, justified. 8. Nutritious. The word that best matches nutritious would be D, nourishing. 9. Expert. The word that best matches the word expert would be F, specialist. 10. Reverse. The word that best matches the word reverse would be B, turn around. So let's go through the discussion questions. And like I said before, when you answer the discussion questions, I want you to answer them in whole sentences. So let's see here. A, how important are vegetables? I want you to think about and write down how important you feel vegetables are. And B, do children care if they eat healthy food? If you have like a little brother or a cousin and he's going to eat lunch, do you think he really cares how healthy his food is for him? And do you think it's important that someone helps him out and gives him good, healthy choices? C, how healthy are your school lunches? Explain how your school lunches are. Do you have like the plate model where you have a certain amount of vegetables, a certain amount of carbs, and a certain amount of proteins? D, 1/3 of the US children are overweight or obese. Do you think changing these rules would make the situation better or worse? Do you think making pasta a vegetable, would that make the food choices better for the children's overall health or worse? E, do you think changing the guidelines without telling the people is against the law? Do you think that if the government presents guidelines and rules for something and says this is how it's going to be, and then they change all the rules and then they put them into effect, is that against the law, or are they allowed to do that? And F, what advice do you have for the Department of Agriculture? If you were to send a letter to the Department of Agriculture and say how you think that they should think about children's nutritional needs in the US school system, what would you say? And thank you very much for watching this video, and I'm really looking forward to getting your answers. And I want them in at the latest next Thursday, the 30th of April, and have a really, really good day. Thank you.